Hey guys, it's Clay on the trail. I am back up here with the Quinzee that we built. Cash is here and Jason, Haggard Wilderness. We are gonna throw up another Quinzee. Check out, see how bad mine settled. That's something I've learned over the last 2 weeks. I built one in my yard and it dropped like 1.5 feet. I went to get in it the other day and I could hardly get in it. So may have to build this one up. Just make it a little bit taller and then I can carve more out of it, and then we're gonna throw another one down right here. Okay, we added another foot to mine that had really sagged down. I've dug in quite a ways and haven't hit my opening yet, so I'm wondering if I had a couple more collapses since I was gone. We dug around Jason's, got his going. We're gonna let these sit for more than an hour this time. Couple hours, if not 3. Let this thing really set up. But we've got firewood to cut. Okay, so while we're waiting, we're gonna take down 2 of these pretty good sized trees because I like winter camping, but I don't like being cold. What do you think it is? 30? We're close to freezing. 32?
Yeah, 30.
30, 32. So it's not cold, but tonight will be. But Jason is working on that tree right there. And I'm working on, that tree right there.
Yeah, I'm going right back. One more. There she goes. Very nice.
Okay, so I got my spider out, cooking up some water while we're cutting some firewood. I got my freezer bag cooker and just a ramen bomb inside. Do up a quick lunch and get back to firewood. We've let the Quinzee sit for just about an hour, so another hour, 2. We'll start hacking the inside of it out. All right, so we've got our fire going. We're doing some pretty crazy dinners tonight, so we're trying to get some coals going. A couple hours of sunlight left. I put a pad down. Try to keep some of the snow in here. Oh, good. And then I've got a couple more pads, and I'm sure this just looks like a big white nothing, but this is the inside of my Quinzee. And I'll be putting some more pads down so I have something to sit on, and then my insulated mat on top of those. But you can see over here, when you get too close to the outside, and that's probably 1 foot deep right there, it starts to let light through. So that's kind of when you get an idea when to stop. But way plenty of room. The addition we did on the roof of this made it so I can make it way bigger. It's way bigger than I need, but it'll be nice. All right, Jason over here has made a ton of progress. He's got a sagebrush in the middle of his too. I think that's par for the course here in this little meadow. But just working on the height of his ceiling, and he'll be ready. So it is startling to see this, but I dug with my ski pole through there, and you're not gonna be able to see because the sun's right in there. This wall where I could start to see blue color in the snow is over 1 foot thick. This side over here where I was worried about how far I was going to go, 3 foot thick. And I'm sitting up, got headroom. I put down some insulation to sit on. Just got to keep shaking the snow off it every time I move. And then I've got insulation in my doorway. I'm going to pull my sled with my bag and stuff in here and seal the door off fairly tight. So I did a couple air holes because I plan on running a candle lantern in here a little bit tonight. I have a 1 candle lantern and a 3 candle lantern. I just want to try them. And then my stove. I may cook breakfast in here tomorrow just to see what it does. So I want plenty of air. Okay. So there's the entrance. I actually stuffed a snowball in this hole. There's so much light coming in there. It was kind of annoying. It's nice in here. It's peaceful. Guys are riding snowmobiles, you know, a couple 100 yards from us. And in here, I can't hear a thing. Jason just came over and checked on me. Thought maybe I suffocated because I was being so quiet. I was just enjoying the peace. All right, so realizing that I had 3 foot of wall here where my air hole is, I dug out a little shelf. This is some new gear I've bought and I haven't really used. This is a single candle. They have the 9-hour candles in them. It's a UCO. This one's brass. And then I got the 3, and this one actually gets hot enough on top you can boil water with it. And I brought my cook pot and my mug in here. And my spider. I still have the door fairly open. And I may just put my duffel bag in there and just allow that much air in here. I fired my stove up for about 30 seconds and it got hot enough in here I didn't want it on anymore. This is pretty incredible. It's just awesome.
Make yourself at home, you know?
Make myself at home. So this is Jason's home for the night. He's got a bivy sack, some Christmas lights going down. He's got his water and some snacks and stuff. I don't think you can see anything. There we go. Water, snacks, Christmas lights, bivy sack. His head's going to be right here at the opening and he'll just pull the sled over it. So, okay, so if you're winter camping and you're not eating like a professional, then you should go home. So, Jason did some flattened out steaks stuffed with spinach and some pepper jack cheese.
Yep, and green onion.
And green onion, and he is just got them on a forked stick. Oh, the cheese is just dripping out of it. Looks awesome. I threw down a Cornish game hen. I split it on the chest. There we go. And just laid it flat so it doesn't take an hour to cook. It's probably been 20 minutes. And then I'm freezer bag cooking some stovetop stuffing. So when we get them all done here, we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's how the chicken turned out. It smells like garlic. Nice crispy skin. It's cooked all the way through. Stovetop in my freezer bag. Finished product for Jason's steaks. I think we outdid ourselves.
Right.
Well, I wish you could see what I can see. It's about 10:30. There's the flicker of our fire over here. About time to turn in. It's not even cold. There's the moon. One of these days I'll get a better camera, but I probably won't. That shows you all this stuff. About ready to turn in. Try out my candle lanterns and get set up on the inside. It's crazy for 10:30 in January that it's chilly, but it's not. It's just not that cold.
Yeah, not that bad.
Guys, I have retired to my Quinzee. I lit up my little 3-candle lantern. I can still see my breath in here, but I've only had it burning for, you know, a minute. So I don't know what I expected. I can take my stove, fire it up in here for about 20 seconds, and it'll be so hot I don't want to have it on anymore. But I'm going to change my socks. I always go to sleep when it's cold, especially with dry socks. Crawl in my bag. I get to try my new Nemo tensor out today. I'm pretty excited about that. I have to convince Cash. I don't know if you can see him or not. Get to convince Cash that this is my bed, not his. He gets to sleep over here where my feet are. I'll have to kick him out, because he's pretty excited about the whole ordeal of having an insulated sleeping pad and a sleeping bag to sleep in, and that just isn't happening. So anyway, it's been a good trip. We sat around the fire and visited. My dinner was one of the top dinners I've ever made. Backpacking, or camping, I guess. I'm not backpacking. I'm a little bit excited. Do this again here. I pulled my duffel bag and my sled into the doorway, so I have to push it to get out, but there is airflow coming in there, so even with the candles or a stove burning, I'm not going to run out of air tonight. So, good night. We will see you in the morning. Well, we survived the night. It was cold, but I expected that. I pulled my sled in the door with my bag all puffed up, and I think Cash tried to escape in the middle of the night, and he pushed it all down, so I had a lot of outside air in there, which is fine. I don't know if Jason's still asleep or if he's just hanging out. I'm going to go back in, heat up some water, and make some breakfast. He was pretty excited when I opened the door. Okay, so I got my stove running. Got lots of air. It heats this thing up so fast, it's awesome. I'm almost nervous to cook real long on it, but I'm going to boil up about a cup and a half of water. Make some breakfast. Okay, so one thing that definitely happens when it's cold with a canister stove is that is on high, and it's barely even a flame. If I shake the canister, it'll get big. And I put it on the shovel to, get it up off the cold, but that shovel's just radiating the cold to it. So white gas definitely is more efficient than and this is even the isobutane blend. But it just gets too cold sometimes for these things to work real efficient. I'm just enjoying a little ambiance. I don't know if I'm disappointed or what, but this little UCO candle, one of the wicks broke off, so I went to light it, and I'm going to have to dig around with my pocket knife and expose the wick again. So I only could get 2 candles going, but it's warmed up tremendously in here having a fire. I just got to shake the canister every now and then. But it worked. We got boiling water. That's all I needed. So we'll have some breakfast now. Alright, so I want to talk overall, just overall impressions of what happened. I hooked my sled up just like that, so I can slide it in and out. When I need something out of my bag, I can pull it towards me, get something out of it, and then push it back, and it blocks, not all of the air, but, I know it's a little combination of my canisters freezing up and that there just isn't too much oxygen in here to run a stove. So airflow here, airflow there. I did plug the one up behind me. I put a snowball in it because I could feel a breeze coming through here, and I didn't want that. And then I kicked some snow down on the other side of it, so it's sealed on both sides. I slept warm. I think I could have slept warm almost anywhere. One thing I would do different a little bit is this snow cave slopes way down here. By the time I got my feet in there, my feet touched the snow quite a bit last night, and I ended up having to sleep in the fetal position. Or I would come up here and scoot up, and then I'd hit my head on the snow up here. I have like 3.5, 4 feet of snow. I could have dug out another 2 feet of snow here and been totally good with a headspace and not had to worry about that. Cash did okay. He stuck his nose in my sleeping bag a half dozen times last night, and I just think he wanted out, which I dig. The candlelight the ambiance on it was awesome. It didn't do very much for heat. The only way to really get heat was to crank a stove up, put out some real BTUs. I can't say I'm going to build 10 more of these this year. I've built 2, plus I helped Jason build his. I think you may see some more of these in the future. I don't know. It's a lot of work. Setting my hammock up is lighter than carrying a shovel. I stay just as warm in it. And it's way less work to put up. But the cool factor, I guess, isn't there. And this was pretty neat to be able to, put a shelf in, have a cook stove right inside here. I don't know how reusable these are. Like I built this a week and a half ago and had to basically redig the whole thing out and add more to the top. So every time you would come to use this, you'd have to, add another layer of snow and take some out of the inside. But it was definitely cool. We had good food. Jason's good company. We stayed up till 10:30 or so, just talking by the fire, and I needed to get out, and I enjoy the company I'm with, so that helps. All right, so one of the worst things about winter camping is putting your feet in a freezing pair of boots. But my feet instantly went very cold. So I'm just holding my boots upside down to catch a little of the heat off my stove. I did my left one already, and it already warmed back up, so. I'd like to have feeling in my feet again. That'd be great. So a little while back, I came over and was like the logs hadn't burned. I didn't figure out what was up with them, so I kicked one of them, and they just looked like they were dead out. So I walked away, and a few minutes later, they were fire. Easiest fire ever built. So I got to try my Nemo Tensor insulated pad out last night for the first time ever. And this, these conditions really put it through the ringer. So what do I think? It kept me warm. That is for sure. And I got a regular square rectangle sized one. I didn't get the mummy sized. Maybe would go with a wide if I were to do it again, but I'm not really sure. It doesn't add that much weight. But granted, I was sleeping on snow. When any part of my body hung over the edge of it, you could instantly tell that it wasn't on the insulation anymore. And I had some foam pads all under the ground that I was on top of, plus that, to make up for it. I'm a side sleeper. I slept fine on it. My hip didn't hurt, my shoulders didn't hurt. It's a great pad. I rolled over a lot, toss and turn, first night camping I always do, and didn't make any noise. I really like it. Maybe with the wide, I don't know. I don't know that it would make that much of a difference. I'm not always going to be sleeping on the snow with it. And for the weight, savings. Probably stick with what I have. Pretty good piece of equipment anyway. Okay, one last look at the camp here. We dumped a bunch of snow on. I'll kick some more on before we go. Make sure our fire's out. What a great camp. We felled 2 trees and only ended up burning one of them, but we burned a whole tree last night, which at my house would last for a week. But we stayed warm. Had a great camp in my, the Quinzee was warm and good. A little bit of sunshine. Good company, good spot. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. Please give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you on the next one.